ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम्। सुप्रभातम। Welcome to today's our Upadeshasara Satsanga. We are together studying Upadeshasara, the text composed by Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi Ji. So let us chant few verses which we have completed one by one. Karturagya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam krutimaho dadau patana karanam phalam shashvatam gati nirodhakam ishwararpitam nichaya kritam चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकं कायवाङ्मन कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जप चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईषधी युक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिभृत् देवपूजनम्. So, in this very wonderful text, we have seen principles, how principles of knowledge give us a very important indications to walk on this path of enquiry. And these principles, if we hold on correctly and very firmly, then our spiritual journey becomes very progressive. One must know that whenever we follow the principle, we must understand the principle first, because nobody can follow the principle just like that. And he who without understanding try to follow the principle will drop it very easily. Therefore, the first principle, which is very, very important, which is called as Karturagyaya Prapyate Phalam. So, phalam which is coming to all of us is from our own action, no doubt. But this phalam is not because just I wish to have it. Note it, it is not like that whatever I wish, that only phalam I will get. No. The phalam will come as per the wish of the controller of the whole universe. The controller of the whole universe. One should able to understand this and then live the life. What will happen? Then we will understand this result which is coming from directly from the controller, the universal truth, reality, God. Then if we have a right understanding, we will accept it as a prasad. Till then we can't accept it as a prasad. If we really has understood this universal controller power which alone can give the result of any action which we do or anyone is doing in this whole universe. Therefore, now imagine what will happen. There will be no complaint. No complaint about anything, because just imagine, because the result which is coming is apt, appropriate for us. We are putting label of good and bad. We are putting a label of good and bad. There is nothing called as good and bad in the result. Now a sadhaka is one who accepts this result without putting any label. Here we must reach and stop thinking like why it is to me, why that is not for me. This sort of mental attitude is not the attitude of sadhaka. A seeker's attitude is, once that person understands the principle of knowledge, one must completely accept it and try to follow it with firmness. That is the seeker. Otherwise, only a sick person. Nothing called a seeker. It is a fact. Otherwise what? 10 times if somebody says the same thing, this is why it is so, why it is so, what are you listening? What are you understanding? And keep 100 times telling, Swamiji, it is very difficult. What are you asking and what are we telling to the people and what are we actually thinking? Difficult, difficult, difficult. How many times and how many days and months we are going to say the same thing? It is difficult. So, as Gurudev says, follow this principle. You can, you must. Put it in your heart and follow it. I can, I must. And there will be no complaint and no regrets about anything in the past at all. Whatever it has happened for the best of my spiritual unfoldment. Please put it in your life and mark it. Mark it. So this first principle, how beautiful. Like that we have seen every principle. So why am I again and again repeating? Because people do not understand the value of following the principle. And therefore they lack in their spiritual progress. Once you follow the principle of knowledge, no one can pull you down and no one can disturb you in this world. In Bhagavad Gita, Yasmano dvijate lokaha lokano dvijate chayah harsha marsha bhayodvegaihi muktoya sachame priyah. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, one who is my devotee, how is his life? He does not disturb anyone around himself by any of his action, and he does not get disturbed by anything, any situation, by any person at any time in his life. So both ways one must understand. We should not disturb unnecessarily by doing some wrong action, as well as if somebody is doing something, then we must not get disturbed by any situation, by any person, by any sort of so-called as occasion which comes in our life. And Bhagavan says, such person is dear to me. So let us try our level best to be dear to the Lord. Yes, please note it. See how beautifully it is said here. Who can do like that? One who accepts the principle of the knowledge. Then that person can follow it completely. Okay, so let us go to our next verse now. Let me just throw some more light on Jagataishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brut Deva Pujanam. So this Dhihi, this intellect, should have this attitude about the whole universe which we see, the whole world which we see is nothing but the form of the Lord. This attitude one must develop. Now, see, in our Indian culture, it is so important to know right from the beginning we have this sort of sanskaras, impressions in our life. Like we worship river, Ganga Devi Mata. So what is happening here? We worship rivers. Then we worship mountains, Govardhan Maharaj. See how beautiful it is. So Govardhan Maharaj Parikrama, because we do not understand it as just a sort of lump of mud or stone, but we understand it is also a form of the Lord. Then we worship trees. See how it is. Then we worship everything, whatever is seen in this world, and understand it is His form alone. So this sort of understanding, this sort of attitude we should develop, and then only we can able to see that Lord everywhere. But as we have discussed, to see that Lord everywhere, first you have to see that Lord in one. That is extremely important, and that is called as Ishtadevata. That you must understand, you must have this feeling, the Lord of the universe is here in front of me, is here in front of me, and I am worshipping directly the Lord of the universe and not the idol. That firmness, That attitude should come in our mind. Then slowly, slowly we understand. We have seen last time one principle, Anga and Angi, the part and the whole. This one must put it in mind very, very firmly. That if I am worshipping this form of the Lord, that which is a part of the universal truth, then I am directly connected to the universal truth. Have this feeling, have this feeling. Then you will understand how the whole mind and intellect get completely tuned up to that universal power. So, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brut Deva Pujanam. Ashtamurti, 5 great elements, then Surya, Chandra and all the Jivatmas. Now you can imagine, Swamiji, please leave 1 and 2 where I cannot see that Lord at all. They are demonical. Yeah, this is how our mindset is. We have a fixed ideas about someone, and that idea we have developed because of our conditioned mind. So therefore, let us remove the conditioning. My dear, the mind has the negativity, but what we are trying to tell you, that which is a controller of that body, mind and intellect is that Bhagavan and not that mind. Oh, yes. So when you worship or when you do a pranam to anyone like a guru, then directly you are doing the pranam to that Bhagavan. Oh, what a right and a very correct point to be understood as well as to be carried forward in our mind always. Yes, now let us move to the next verse where Bhagavan is telling us to do a sadhana. So what is a sadhana? Verse number 6. Uttamastavat uchchamandatah chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam. Now here the superiority to the other one is given, like one by one, one is superior to another. So japa sadhana is the emphasis of this verse. What is the emphasis of this verse? Japa sadhana. So please understand what is japa. Japa is continuous repetition of the name of Lord or a mantra. There are 2 important points here. Name of Lord is also japa, and mantra like Om Bhurбhuvатсвah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Gayatri mantra. So this is also japa, continuous doing the repetition of the name of the Lord or the mantra of the Vedas or the Bhagavan. Like Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Another like, if you want to understand as a Bhagavan Krishna mantra, Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. So these are also the mantras, the shlokas which we can repeat continuously, and that also can become the japa. Okay, this is one aspect. But here it is beautifully said, first, which is the lower form of japa, is called as chanting the glories of the Lord. Chanting the glories of the Lord. Stavat. Stavanam means stuti. Stuti means glories. Like, from the Ramacharita we have this tradition to chant Sundarkand. And then people do a Parayanam of a Sundarkand. So that is what? It's the chanting the glory of the Lord. And sometimes people take up the chanting of complete Ramacharita in a day or so, like that. So these are called as the stutis. Similarly, in Bhagavatam there are Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran. There are n number of stutis given of the Lord. So people do a chanting of those stutis. So they are important, but they are at the first level. Then the superior level is, then it is said, Uchcha Japaha. Uchcha Japa. Uchcha Japa means loudly when we chant the name of the Lord. Om Namo Narayanaya. Like we start from the beginning. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, and so on. So when you chant the name of the Lord but loudly, so that is little better than doing the chanting of the glories of the Lord. Now third is Mandata. Manda Japa. Manda Japa means Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Now your lips are slowly moving, but it's not loud. It is just that you can hear your own sound, and like that the japa is called as Manda Japa, which is superior to the loud japa. Why is it so? Because of we are taking less and less support. Less and less support. Okay. So then the most important is absolute Chittajam Japa. Chittajam. And this Chittajam Japa is that which is called as the mind which is just repeating the name of the Lord. The mind which is repeating the name of the Lord. And that itself is a dhyanam during this process. This dhyanam here is not the meditation which we, understand as a Vedantic meditation. It is the meditation which is called as the one flow of thought, continuous one flow of thought which is unidirectional, and which is of the name of the Lord or the mantra of the Lord. And that where there is no disturbance of mind and intellect, you are absolutely abiding in that name or that mantra, and that it is here called as dhyanam. So reaching to that level where there is no other thing than the name of the Lord or the mantra, that here is called as dhyanam. So one after another, what is going on? It's becoming superior and superior. So why it is becoming superior and superior? Because of less and less support taken to do the sadhana. So in the beginning, when a sadhaka starts his sadhana, so what is What is the difficulty? Difficulty is objects around the world and people around the world. It's a big difficulty for a beginner. What? Then this person says, this person is disturbing me, Swamiji. This object is disturbing me. See, this is called as beginning. Yes, it is. Now if you understand, still some person is disturbing you, or still the object is disturbing you, our state of the sadhana is absolutely at the beginning level. At the very beginning level, because these are the things which bother. Then what happens? From the gross, this person comes to subtle, called as mind. Then this person says, Swamiji, this thought is disturbing me so much. Now just imagine. Now the person is gone, the object is gone, but the thought is disturbing. The thought is disturbing. Then after the thought, there is a subtle point which is called as desire. Swamiji, this desire is so much troubling me. Just imagine. Now that desire. Now after that desire, that vasana, the inherent tendencies. Oh Swamiji, how can I get rid of this vasana? This is how one by one, you will understand is a disturbance because of one subtle thing. Now those all subtle things will be taken care when we do this sadhana one by one and go ahead. You cannot do like this. Now the superior sadhana, the best sadhana, as it is said in the scripture, is Chittajam Japa. Let me do a Chittajam Japa. Arey, Chittajam Japa cannot be done like that unless and until you have done the primary things. Please understand. Like, you cannot go and sit in 10th class and says, no, I have to pass the matriculation examination. It is not allowed and you cannot do that. Why? Because you have to go to the first standard, the second standard, the third standard and reach to the 10th standard. Similarly, one has to go through all one by one step and then reach to that stage which is the best and the superior, that is called as Chittajam Japa. Now, how it happens and how it really works. I give one example. If you go to some very, very holy place, I take example of a Kailash Manas Sarovar. Now the moment you take, if you have gone there, the moment you take the example or you remember the Lord, that Kailash Parvat, and then you are looking that Bhagwan in front of you, the whole mind and intellect gets there and there. And it remains there unless and until I shift my mind from that. See what is happening? Because that form of the Lord is so beautiful. Now what is that? This is called as connection of the mind to the form. Connection of the mind to the form. So slowly what happens, when we keep taking the name of the Lord, we know the form of the Lord. So there is a very strong connection happens with the form because the name is connected to the Nami. Means Nama and Nami are very much connected. There cannot be a name without the form. It is not possible. Therefore, to get the connection with the form, one must start with the name and start imagining the slowly form, dhire dhire, Shanai, Shanai, Uparamit. Now this Shanai Shanai Uparamet is the most beautiful suggestion, indication given by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita. Shanai Shanai means slowly, slowly. And Gurudev also always points out that do not run. Do not run. So he says, hasten slowly. That's beautiful indication by Pujya Gurudev. That means you must go ahead, but you should be steady and slow in your approach towards the Supreme. Go slow, but be steady. Because if you try to run, and then sometimes what happens, we stop it very immediately, because this dramatic way of doing something can go in a dramatic way also. So therefore, gradual progress is the fantastic progress in spiritual path. Let it be how much time, but you must understand, once you leave the first step, you have left it forever. Please note it. Once you leave that first step, then you must have that confidence, I have left it, and now it cannot return to me. This confidence one must have. Must. Yes. So, this is how beautifully one can understand the power of a japa. Now I give different examples, because this is a very important sadhana in the path of spirituality. Once it happened so, this is a beautiful example, I love it. It was Naradaji, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. He was going through the different places on the earth, and suddenly he saw a very big group of ladies, and they all were doing pranayama. Then he inquired, which is this Bhumi? Bhumi means place. Then people told him, this is Vrindavan. So many Vrindavan this is? Who all are they? They are gopis. Gopis, I heard gopis, they are very great bhaktas. What are they doing pranayam? So the other person said, I don't know, you go and ask. So Naradji, disguised form, he went and he says, oh Gopikas, you are great. And now you have understood the right way, that pranayama is the only technique that can take you to that one-pointedness. Yes, I am so happy. All gopis started laughing. Then this Narad said, why are you laughing? Did I say something funny? He says, no, you don't know the reason of our doing pranayam. He says, what is the reason? He says, this Krishna is there in our heart, and all the time he is talking to us and do not allow us to do anything. So by doing pranayam, we have to get rid of him. My God. See the stage of Gopikas. It is so much there. They don't have to do anything. It's so effortless. It is so effortless. And that is what is talked now in the next verse. Very beautiful it is. Aj dharaya srota samam sarala chintanam viralatah param. Aj dharaya srota samam sarala chintanam Viralatah param. So the next step, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is pointing out beautifully. What is it saying? So he says, how should be our japa quality? Quality of our japa. Now let me just again remind you, what is the indication of japa? What happens when we do a japa? So for the first level, the indication is concentration. When you start doing japa, slowly your mind becomes more and more concentrated. And then what happens? Then gross is taken care once your mind becomes concentrated. Why? Understand, our mind is everywhere. This is a very peculiar thing. Our mind is everywhere. Our mind is in Mumbai, our mind is in Kolkata, our mind is in Delhi, our mind is in New York, your mind is in Paris, and your mind is in everywhere. No, do you know what happened today? There it happened so. And so on and so forth. I am just making little exaggeration. So this is how our mind is. So what is the first important point? By doing the japa, we are concentrating our mind. We as a absolute, so called as broken pieces of the mind, which are actually everywhere in the world, slowly coming together. And when you really get into this japa, they get together. What is the indication? Your mind is together and not into the pieces. Please understand, no object of the world and no person of the world bothers you. Where you have reached to this stage, which is called as your mind is now, is one and not a broken pieces. Please note it and please understand. It is not that what is the state of the mind, but it is very important to know why I am experiencing this disturbance and what I should do, and if I reach there, how this disturbance will be completely out of my sadhana. Okay. So first level is concentration. Slowly. Second level is when you completely get concentrated and the mind becomes one. And there is no pieces of mind all over the world. Next. This mind, when you put again with the right japa sadhana, which is called as manda japa sadhana as well as chittajam japa sadhana, then what happens? Then there is purification which happens. Purification does not happen like that. Unless and until the mind is concentrated, the purification cannot happen. I'll give an example. You know this example, but you must know the meaning and the import of this example. See, we all were in school and there was in physics there was one experiment that you take a lens, go outside the room when there is a nice sunny day, keep a piece of paper just under this lens and let us not move this lens. Now what happens? When sunlight goes through this beam, goes through this lens, becomes a beam, and now just see, first it is concentrating. That's the point. First it is concentrating and going down and falling on that piece of paper. It takes time. There you don't have to move. If you move there, then again nothing will happen, because that concentration, that beam which was created, again gone, disturbed. So if you don't move that lens, slowly, first the fume starts coming out of the paper, and suddenly the flame of fire comes up. Now just imagine, this is the stage which is called as purification. When your mind is so one-pointed, then it starts purifying the whole so-called as inner core of the mind. So this is a indication of the japa. Now, 7th verse, let us take up this verse and put our mind in it. Maybe we will not complete today this verse, but let us start the explanation. First is, here emphasis is given on, which is called as how the japa should be. So it is called as japa, here is called as chintanam. Chintanam is called as contemplation. Chintanam is called as contemplation. It is to be understood in terms of contemplation. So first one word let me explain. Sarala chintanam, that means uninterrupted contemplation, continuous contemplation. Samam ajya dharaya. Samam means it is like what? Ajya dharaya. Ajya dharaya means it is like the clarified butter, which is called as ghee. The ghee, if you pour from one pot to the plate, how it goes? It just goes like an uninterrupted flow. Okay, so this chintanam is like this. Then it is srota sasanam, srota sa param viralatah. Now another example is given is srotasa. There are two ways commentators thinks about it, but we will put a right understanding as per Vedanta. See, srotasa, that is called as river. Paramam. So what are paramam? Ajyadharaya and srotasa, these type of flow of chintanam is param. Param means superior. Then what? Viralataha, interrupted one. That means discontinuous. Point number 1. Chintanam, one has to understand, as I told you, it is like a japa. Japa is what? Continuous repetition of a mantra or the name of the Lord. Now here Chintanam can be in a different level. Please understand. Chintanam here can be of Saguna or Nirguna, both. Here it is not explained at all that it is Saguna or Nirguna. This is a point to be noted. So it can be Saguna and Nirguna. As Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita explains beautifully, when Arjuna asked a question, he says, there are two sets of people. One worships Lord with form and one worship Lord without form. Now these are the two sections, or these are the two type of people. So who is superior, whether the person worshipping with form or without form? Bhagavan says, I do not actually give superiority because someone is worshipping form or without form. What is superior? The Bhagavan has very beautifully mentioned there. He said, Maya veshamano yemam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayo petaha te me yukta tamamataha. See, three important points. Nitya yukta maya vesha. With complete faith. Now this point one must understand. What is called as complete faith? Because 100 times we have this sort of confusion. We says, I have so much of faith in Lord, but Swamiji, why it happened to me? Swamiji, I have a complete faith. Oh my dear, what do you understand by this word complete? And what do you understand by Lord? This you haven't understood. This is how I told you that principle is not understood. Therefore, there is no right understanding. And if there is no right understanding, there cannot be an improvement. Please understand. How much time I keep telling these things. If you don't understand the principle, there cannot be an improvement at all. How to make people understand and how to drill in them this technique I don't have. Unfortunately. But it is a fact that unless and until we understand the principle, the progress does not happen. Okay. Anyway, coming back. So as I gave this important point that Bhagavan is explaining, these are the important points where I consider that person is superior. And not that one who is worshipping with form or without form. Here also, it is not mentioned whether you take a support of form or without form. But it is mentioned how should be your sadhana. Okay, so let us stop here and do a meditation, because we have no hurry to complete anything, but let us understand and let us practice in our life so that we can come out of the disturbances of gross as well as subtle. So wherever you are, sit comfortably, then feel that your body is stable. Wherever, if you are sitting on the floor or on the chair, if you are sitting on the chair, there should be a mat under your both feet. Then if you are sitting on the ground, sit on the mat. Okay. What is next? See to it that your back, your neck and your chest are comfortable and straight. There is no bend in it at all. Then your both shoulders, see to it that shoulders are straight also and parallel to each other. Both your hands are either placed on both legs or in your lap, whatever is convenient to you. Then slowly close your eyes and for a minute let us focus on this breathing. This breathing is very helpful as a support to have the one-pointedness of the mind. So the air which is coming going and filling your lungs inside, again going out. You can number it 1, 2, 3 coming in, staying inside for some time, 3, 2, 1 going out. Do it very slowly, rhythmically. Take a deep breath, but it should be natural one. without any force. Full attention on your breathing process. Having gained good amount of concentration of the mind, let us turn towards the mind and recollect all the discussion points of today's session. As we have seen, to see the Lord in the whole universe, first you have to see the Lord in one. Therefore, Ishta Devata and the worship of the Ishta Devata helps to connect ourselves to that universal form in this form which is in front of us. So with this principle that when you worship the part, you are worshipping the whole. Slowly, slowly, your mind grows and you can reach to the whole. For that, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Ji is giving us sadhana. What is a sadhana? Sadhana is japa sadhana. Uchamastava Uchamandata Chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam. It is said, chanting the glories of the Lord, no doubt, is important, but superior to that is loud form of japa. Japa is that when you repeatedly chant the name of the Lord or the mantra for a sufficient long time, then that's called as japa sadhana. So loud chanting of name of the Lord or mantra is superior to the chanting of the glories of the Lord. Then superior to that is manda japa. Slowly, just the sound which can come to your ears, that japa is called as manda japa. Though your lips are moving, the sound is coming out, but it's very, very slow. Then superior to that is chittajam japa. The name of the Lord or the mantra chanted in one's own mind. And so much so it is continuous that you do not require any other support at all. Even the mala is also not required in this chittajam japa. Is going on, and once it becomes very concentrated, that itself becomes the dhyana. One unidirectional positive thought towards the Supreme Lord. In that stage, there is nothing other than the name of the Lord or the mantra. Your focus is completely on it, and your mind is absorbed in it completely. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can put your hands in Namaskar position. Keep your eyes closed. With complete gratitude, just surrender to the Lord. Thank Him for this beautiful knowledge and the principles to follow in the path of spirituality. Thank you for this beautiful time and moment. Have a gratitude towards everyone in the world who has contributed towards us and our progress till today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Om Namo